All right, welcome back, everybody. This is the Rattle Cage Podcast. I am Ryan, joined as always with Sterling. Tomorrow, the greatest day in motorsports. How about it, Sterling?
Yes, it is. Favorite day of
So,
the year.
all motorsports fans know. Wake up. What is it, Monaco in the morning? I'm not gonna lie, I'm not up on my F1 stuff, but in the
Yeah,
afternoon.
Monaco at 9 a.m. And unfortunately, it sounds like this is going to be the last one on this weekend, anyway. So
Oh wow! And then Indy 500. That probably starts around what, one ish or so.
normally it starts at noon, but I think they did back it up to 1 o'clock this year, which is stupid. Kyle Larson kind of got fucked last year, so let's make it even harder this year.
Yeah, and then of course we got the Coke 600. And I think green flags at like 6:58 or something is what lock is. I think last I looked. So I
Green
think
flag
it's
locks
I.
at 6.
Oh, is it at 6?
Yeah, it always starts at 6.
Okay, maybe
600.
maybe I was reading something, or maybe I was looking at the wrong thing. But yeah, so like I said, the greatest day in motorsports of the year. Hopefully Monaco stays there for the F1 fans. But yeah, Coke 600. Corey Heim won Friday night. I don't understand why he's still in trucks, honestly.
There's no way that he's there next year. Like, they gotta do something with him. Even if he goes to Joe Gibbs for Xfinity, he cannot be in the trucks anymore.
Now, will he go to Gibbs though? Because I've always read that like
Oh
it.
yeah, no, you're right. I That completely slipped my mind. I don't see that
Yeah.
happening. His best choice for Xfinity would be Sam Hunt, and that probably is out of question too.
Well, he's ran some Sam Hunt, hasn't he?
Yeah, but
Yeah. And anyway, I mean, I like Corey Heim. Hopefully he gets. I did see he climbed the fence and waved a terrible towel. Did you see that?
I didn't.
Yeah, apparently I don't know, maybe I was reading fake news, but I saw the video. It looked real anyway if I did get spoofed, but yeah, apparently his dad's from Pittsburgh and
Oh yeah,
his dad was down for the Charlotte race, so apparently he waved a terrible towel for his dad, but
that's pretty cool. I've
so
seen he's
yeah.
banging old Taylor Reimer now, so that's pretty cool for him too.
That is awesome. Oh man, but yeah, we got the Coke 600 tomorrow, so practice and qualifying. Did you? I know you did the lap times. I don't know if you got to see the lap times. Was there any tire fall off, or was this a pretty?
Honestly, I haven't looked too much at it, but I'll look real quick.
Yeah, that was just one thing I was curious about. I didn't. Of course, I was watching the broadcast at work, and it was just. I mean, they don't show the lap by lap stuff, so and nobody was really talking about it. That's why I was like, this is kind of. If there's a lot of tire fall off, most of the time they're bragging about it and talking it up. But I didn't, not that I heard of, that say, heard anything from the broadcast that there was tire fall off.
Yeah, within like 15, 20 laps, they lose about a second. So
Ooh, that's actually not too bad. And we did see what Ross blow a tire, but they were saying that was pretty much because of low air pressure.
let me see here. Who is this? Byron. So let me get this highlighted for me. Byron's first lap was a 30.22. His fifth lap was a 30.549.
Mm.
His 10th was a 30.876. So seems like every 5 laps they're losing a few tenths. So
Yeah, that's actually not too bad. Okay, I hope that. I mean, obviously, the one thing we do have to remember is they were practicing and qualifying in the daytime, and basically the 600, like Sterling said, it's going to start around 6 o'clock. So hopefully, with the cold, with it going the night and the colder weather, I don't know if the tire wear will be as drastic, but I hope it is.
I mean, I might be thinking too deep into this, but my theory would be with it being colder, it's going to grip more. More grip, you would think would rip it up. But
Okay.
then at the same time, being hot and slick, sliding around, that's obviously going to rip it up. So
Yeah.
could it kind of end up being similar as far as fall off?
Okay. Yeah, I kind of get your thinking. So this is also we have to point this out before we start. This is basically a mile and a half. It is a mile and a half that the next gens put on like the greatest races in the mile and a half, but this is same laps as Martinsville. So we're basically attacking this like Martinsville, but it's a mile and a half track because there is 400 laps. So mostly a mile and a half, we're always like 1, 2, 2.5 dominators, what we're looking for. But I think this one, I mean, it's gonna be hard to decipher who's gonna be the dominators, but I think we're gonna want 2, 3. If we
I'm
can,
probably looking for 3.
yeah, if we can find a 4 somewhere, that would be great. But yeah, I mean, like Sterling said, 3 is what we're aiming for.
It's kind of rough though because in the next gen era we only have 2 full Coke 600s to look
Yeah,
at,
yeah,
and we've never got like a good racing long green flag run type of Coke 600. It's always been they start off all right, and then it's just kind of a caution fest.
yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of volatility, it seems like. So, but we will go ahead and go over to the driver by driver breakdown. This is a nice. Well, we'll do it by kind of by groups, but this is a nice chart Sterling just made. If you guys ever need anything made by Excel or made with Excel, I'd call Sterling because uh, he makes these really nice sheets. Whatever we need.
Real quick, I just want to hit on their amount of cautions. The 2022 race had 18 for 90 caution laps. The
Wow.
2023 race had 16 for 83 caution laps. And then last year was that rain / humidity shortened race. They only ran 249 laps, so about half the race, a little more. They had 7 cautions for 46 caution laps. So they were right on pace to replicate 2023 and 2022.
Huh. See, I don't ever remember Charlotte really being like a big wreck fest. I don't know what that's all about. That's something to definitely keep in mind.
And while we're talking just different shit here, this is the same right side tire code that they've ran on all the intermediates all season long, but this is a completely new left side tire code that they have not ran at all. Now, Chase Briscoe, Ryan Blaney, and William Byron all ran a tire test back on March 18th here. And Briscoe, when he got the pole for his interview, he actually mentioned that test and saying how they were able to try some different things and learn new things. And he thought that test really helped him. And I mean, he got the pole, so.
Yeah. Who were the other two? You said Chase Briscoe.
William Byron and Ryan Blaney.
Oh, so of course Byron was, qualified third, and Blaney. The whole Ford organization didn't look good for some reason.
No, but I mean, this is a 600-mile race.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
always been some kind of fuel strategy, and you always think Fords for some reason in this next gen era, and you especially always think Penske.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we saw what Joey Logano did at Nashville almost a year ago.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I guess before we do this, I will say me and Sterling's been doing this for what a little over a year or so. So any love, support, whatever you guys can give, that'd be awesome. Like, share, subscribe. Tell your friends to like, share, subscribe, comment, whatever you guys want to do. Definitely show the show some love.
Yeah, we intend to be around for quite a while, and as we go, we'll add more and hopefully
Yeah,
eventually get to the point that this is the show that everybody feels like is a must watch.
Yeah, exactly. So let's start us off, Sterling. We have the five digit guys here: Larson, Hamlin, Bell, Byron, Blaney, and Reddick. So I know we said on the preview show, like no matter what, we were
In
kind of.
case anybody is just listening, Byron is also in there. I think you skipped him.
Oh, did I?
Yeah. I might have
Whoops.
just completely misheard, but
All right, so we'll go Larson, Hamlin, Bell, Byron, Blaney, Reddick. I might have, but we said in the preview show, Sterling, that we were kind of off on Hamlin being priced up that high. Now he starts 20th. He did not look good in practice, and I mean Letarte was even talking about how bad he looked in practice. Starting 20th, he's probably going to garner some ownership. Are you buying back into Hamlin starting 20th, or are you staying away?
honestly, I'm probably gonna have a little bit, but for the most part, I plan on being underweight to him.
Yeah, I honestly I feel the same way you do. Maybe just have a sprinkle here and there because it is Denny Hamlin. It is 600 miles, so you never know. But yeah,
And
that
then
card.
go ahead.
I was just gonna say that card just did not look good.
And then real quick, I don't know if I mentioned this or not, but their 2024 Coke 23, 22 that you see there, that's their finishes for that year.
Okay, so he did win the 2022 Coke 600. Now is Byron and Larson your first two clicks here for like potential dominators?
Uh, well, what I'm gonna do for this price range is kind of I'm not using an optimizer, so I won't be making any actual groups, but it would be like Hamlin, Blaney, just one of those guys, Bell and Reddick, just one of those guys, and probably Larson and Byron, just one of those guys. But those are the two that I think it can be there in the same group. But as far as
Okay.
my favorite out of this bunch, it's hard not to go Byron. That
I see. I was gonna say the same thing. I mean, your heart says Larson, but it's like I don't know if I don't know. I feel like that's gonna be a lot to do in one day.
yeah.
So, and with all the hecticness and everything, rain's supposed to be in Indy, stuff like that. I think he'll be back in time this year, but like I
I
don't know.
don't think he has a choice. Didn't they say
No,
that?
he don't. He don't. So he will be back. I mean, Jeff Gordon, I guess, came out today and said, "Come hell or high water, Larson will be back by 5 or
Yeah,
whatever
'cause, I
time he has
mean,
to be back."
you can't just give up a playoff spot.
Yeah. So, but I still think I'm with you. I think I'm leaning Byron there. Larson. Would you be afraid to play them together?
I wouldn't want to have a whole lot like that. I wouldn't be afraid to play them together, no. But honestly, my favorite overall in this range is going to be Tyler Reddick, and that really scares me because
I know.
we said it on the preview show, he bit us at Kansas. He's been biting us all year, really. So, like,
Yeah.
he owes us here, and I'm just going to I got to roll with him. I mean, look at the practice. He was one of the fastest in practice. You can look at his finishes. He might have been the most consistent with finishes. So,
Yeah. Yeah. Starting 12th, he does have some place differential and some dominator potential. So he's like that hybrid-ish kind of play.
and he
Um,
actually was a far better car than 12th place in qualifying, but he scraped the wall a little bit, slowed him
yep.
down quite a bit. It wasn't a hard enough hit that they should have to do anything, but
Yeah.
he should be. He's definitely my favorite in that range.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah, I'm kind of with you. It's hard to say that. Like it's hard to. It's gonna be hard for me to click them today, tonight / tomorrow, whenever I start building. But yeah, it's hard to pick Reddick over Blaney, I think, but I think you're right. I think it is the right move. So now to the 9K guys, Sterling. We got Chase Elliott, Joey Logano, Ross Chastain. This is like
You wanna go back up top real quick and just give our personal rankings on those guys?
Okay. I think as far as I'm kind of with you. I think you got to group it. I think you go like Byron 1, Larson 2 for like dominators, and then I think like the hybrid plays. I think I'd go Reddick over Bell, and then like the dominator slash hybrid, like the guy starting 20th. I think I'd go Blaney over Hamlin. I think Hamlin would be last out of all of them guys.
Yes, I definitely agree with that part. I would probably rank Reddick 1, Byron 2, Blaney 3, Larson 4, Bell, Hamlin.
Okay. Yeah, I don't hate that. Yeah, it's just all depends on your build there. That's where I was like kind of mixing it up with the dominators and the hybrids and all that. So, but yeah, next up we got the 9K guys, and this is where it gets kind of chalky. This is a very chalky slate. That's what me and Sterling were talking about pre-show. Chase Elliott starting 22nd, Joey Logano starting 16th, and Ross Chastain starting dead last.
That sucks.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does. So, Ross Chastain looked very fast in practice. I didn't hear. Are they going to a backup car or?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I figured he hit just hard enough because it wasn't like a brutal hit or anything, but I figured it was probably just hard enough to where they weren't going to repair it.
Yeah, it is worth noting though that I feel like his practice speed was the tire pressure deal. They just started that off too low, and then obviously it works, but for only so long.
Yeah, honestly, Steve Letarte was talking about that too because that's what he was saying. So I think you're onto something there. So I mean, Ross Chastain probably still chalk here starting 40th.
Absolutely. He's probably going to be the highest owned. He shouldn't be, but he probably will be.
Yeah. Chase Elliott starting 22nd. Didn't have good Coke 600s before last year, but starting 22nd, you can't not click him. I don't think.
No, you definitely got to keep him in the player pool. But I mean, you look at his practice; he didn't really show anything. Now, again, practice started at 1:30. The race is at 6, so you don't want to take a whole lot from this, but you still can take some.
Yeah, and I'm looking at Joey Logano here. I'm going to assume that we copied and pasted probably from another guy.
Yeah.
It's all good. I just caught that. I was like, why didn't he run in 2023 or 2022? But then it clicked.
21st and 23 and 20th in 2022.
Okay, there we go. Fixed. So, yeah, Joey Logano, I don't know. It's just, I think it's going to be the same as Chase Elliott. I think he's going to be in your player pool, but I'm not like going out of my way, I think, to click him. I mean, are you, Sterling?
No, but that 30th is wrong too. He finished 14th.
Okay. So average of 18th. Yeah, probably. I mean, if you want to rank them, Sterling, it's probably Ross, Chase, Joey.
Yeah, I mean,
I think that's pretty self-explanatory there. I think Ross Chastain, I think it's going to be close to 100% owned, probably in cash, definitely. But
and we know that team's not afraid to try different things when it comes to pit cycles.
Yes. So, yeah, he's basically going to be a cash lock. Next up in the 8Ks, Kyle Busch, starting 24th, didn't run practice. What was up with that car?
I want to say a power steering issue, they said.
Okay.
It took them all practice and was looking like they might not even make a qualifying lap.
Okay.
And then he came out and you could tell he was mad because he just let it rip.
So we got Kyle Busch starting 24th, Chris Buescher starting 4th, Chase Briscoe on the pole, Ty Gibbs 7th, and Alex Bowman 9th. Honestly, to me, Kyle Busch is intriguing. I mean, he just signed the extension. Kind of is kind of concerning about his power steering, but I mean, surely they got that fixed. But it kind of does suck that he hasn't had any practice. But
it wouldn't surprise me if he starts at the rear because I could see them taking that car back and just going over everything again. I mean, it's a 400 lap race. Just make sure it's going to make it all 400 laps.
Yeah, honestly, that's a great point. I mean, probably if they're smart, they probably just do that. Like, hey, it's a 600-mile race, longest race of the year. Starting 15th positions farther back isn't going to kill us. And they're another team that'll try a weird strategy to get him out in front. So.
And they're another team that you think of when you think of a fuel strategy race.
Exactly. So
like, I would almost guarantee you that this 8 car is going to be on a completely different strategy.
Oh, he'll be up front at one point. I guarantee you he'll be in the top 3 at one point, whether it's on strategy or what. So, probably rank. I mean, Buescher qualifying 4th. I don't. Do you trust that, Sterling? Because I don't think I do.
It's really tough. Like, I'll say that I think this mid to low 8K range, I think you're going to want to be here because I think all these guys are going to be very low owned. And I think each one of them, well, outside of Briscoe, is probably going to be fairly high owned. But
yeah,
these other guys, I think they have a legit chance at leading a chunk of laps or at least getting some fast laps and finishing well.
I do too. I just don't think Buescher's the guy.
No, I would definitely agree. He's probably the odd man out there. I wouldn't.
He's probably my least favorite. Would he be your least favorite out of these guys?
In that low 8K range, yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Okay.
I don't want to say I'm going to take him out because I might have some. It's not going to be very much. If you're running like a 20 max, I wouldn't play him. But
all right, between Gibbs and Bowman, gun to your head.
Gibbs and Bowman. Let me look at my place order because I got in this range and went through and had to choose between those two.
I think it just depends on like how ballsy you want to be. Like, do you want to shoot for the ceiling of Ty Gibbs, or do you want to just play it safe with Alex Bowman, who's probably gonna finish there, but Ty Gibbs has the ceiling.
I went with Bowman. So
okay, all right. I don't hate it. I don't hate it, but yeah. So just ranking these guys, I think off the top of my head, I think obviously if you want to have the lap leader, have an early dominator, you think Briscoe is going to lead. Briscoe would probably be your 1. I'm going to say Kyle Busch is 2 for me. Ty Gibbs is 3. Bowman's 4, and Buescher's 5.
I would go. I'm a Briscoe believer, so I'm going to rank him 1.
Yep.
I'm going to rank. Man, it's kind of tough after there.
It is. I wish Kyle Busch wasn't priced up to 8,800 because that's tough too.
I'm going to go Chastain, number 2.
I was just doing 8K guys.
Oh, just 8K guys?
Yeah.
Then I'm definitely going Briscoe, Gibbs, Bowman, Busch, Buescher. I know Bowman is in my place order over Gibbs, but ceiling over floor.
All right, so what'd you say? Buescher, Gibbs,
Briscoe, Gibbs, Bowman, Busch.
Oh, okay.
Buescher.
Okay. All right. So you're not on the Busch train.
No, I wouldn't argue against it, but I personally would not have more than 15-20%.
I can't blame you. I mean, it's just one of those. I keep going back to the well. You know, the snake keeps biting me, but I just keep going back, thinking, you know, it's not gonna bite me. But so
Good thing it's not poisonous.
good thing it's not poisonous. So now we got down to the 7K guys. We got Josh Berry starting 18th, Brad K starting 34th, Cindric 14th, Wallace 32nd, Hocevar 39th, Priest 28th, and that's it. First off, we got Hocevar, who looked fast in practice, and then I think he was the fastest single lap, and then
Yeah.
decides to. Did he blow a tire in qualifying, or did he just lose it?
I can't remember. I was doing something and I looked up right as he was spinning, and
It was
then
the same for me. I was at work and I was sitting there watching, and then I came back and yeah, he was already mid spin, and I was like, oh shit. So, but I didn't see what happened. But Hocevar will probably be the chalk of the. Will be another Chastain-ish like chalk.
this range is really interesting because
Yeah.
of Brad Keselowski, Bubba Wallace, Carson Hocevar. They're all obviously right there, same price, starting fairly close to each other.
Yeah.
I feel like you're gonna need one of them, and my favorite's gonna be Hocevar, Wallace, Keselowski if I'm ranking just those three.
Yeah, yeah. I can agree with that. The only thing that's like, it's weird. We talk about RFK every single week, and we're like, oh, don't just ignore the practice, just ignore the practice, because it's like they're always like in the 30s in practice, and then like today, Brad Keselowski's like super happy with his car, and I'm like, wow, like this is weird. So now that Brad's probably happy with his car, he'll probably run in the 30s all day or all night, whatever you want to say.
Probably, yeah.
It'll probably be the opposite of, Brad Keselowski runs shitty in practice and comes out and unloads and he's a top 10 car. So I don't know. But yeah, I agree with you. Carson Hocevar starting 39th. Did he even hit the wall? I don't really even remember the spin.
He might have scraped it, but it wasn't like anything
It wasn't
crazy.
bad. Yeah. But yeah, Bubba Wallace starting 32nd. That's some more chalk. And then Brad K.
Bubba Wallace's pit crew has been really good too, though. So could possibly argue him over Hocevar.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good point. Is Ryan Preece going to be the forgotten guy here?
I was actually going to say that I feel like he is potentially the best pivot in this range because I think he will end up being probably the forgotten guy.
He will. I think everybody's going to want to click them three guys. Ryan Preece sitting there at 28th. I mean, probably not as high of a ceiling as them other guys, but still solid play.
And then Cindric and Berry. Cindric is going to be like completely unowned.
Yeah.
And Berry, this is a very long race for Josh Berry. So
yeah. I think I'm going to be out on them too, Cindric and Berry.
I might get some Berry, but I don't see me getting any Cindric.
Okay. So, ranking the 7K guys, I'm not gonna lie, Sterling. I'm kind of with you. Like, I wouldn't be against like having Ryan Preece number one just because he's a forgotten guy. But if I'm just going safe here, it's gonna be Carson Hocevar, Bubba Wallace, Brad K, then Ryan Preece, and then Berry and Cindric.
I would agree with that.
Yeah,
I might swap Wallace and Hocevar just because of that.
Yeah, and I can't argue with you for that. And then, like I said, if anybody out there wants to be extra ballsy and play more Ryan Preece than them guys, I just hope Ryan Preece takes off. And I mean, if that happens, then you're rolling in the money. But
he'll probably want to slap me for this, but I feel like Ben is going to be all over Ryan Preece.
We'll have to ask him after this show.
Either way, he's going to be very honest.
Yeah, Yeah, I
That
mean
could be a good thing or a bad thing.
he always hates Ryan Priest, so you gotta remember he does always hate on Ryan Priest.
That is true. Fucking
So
modified guys.
yeah, so he might not. He might not. I don't know. We'll get his honest opinion after the show. If any of you guys aren't in the Discord, we do have a Discord. I will post a link to it after the video is over from my other YouTube account. But it's a great Discord. We got a lot of people chatting it up all the time over there. We got the Fantasy Racing World Champion Evil Surge in there. We got Cam Fan Sterling. Them guys almost took down the GPP today. They were leading it by like 12 points with 5 laps to go with that last restart, right?
Yeah, that backstretch going in turn 4, Jeb Burton claims he blew a tire and hit the wall. I think Jeb Burton is
he just ran out of talent,
which sucks because I actually think he had some, but
yeah,
he didn't in that last fucking corner.
Yeah, so that cost Sterling and Cam Fan, 2 great guys in the Discord. What was it, 13,500?
Yep.
13 something.
We were splitting 13.5 is what we would have got for that line. Cost me about 15K total.
That's huge. But I mean, all sadness aside, it is a great Discord. Dustin's in there. He's always chatted up about people he knows.
Dirty DJ.
Yep, Dirty DJ.
Cracked me up. He calls himself that.
He knows everybody in North Carolina. It's crazy. So, but no, he's cool. Cam Fan, like I said, awesome. Ben, Brad.
Speaking of
RJ, I saw RJ was up in the top 10 today. And,
he's always up there.
Yeah, he's always up there. So he's a great mind. So yeah, if anybody wants to get in that Discord, it's free. We just like to chat it up. So.
Speaking of Dirty DJ, real quick, he always takes the optimals I send him and does like an averaging of them. And I wanted to bring this up with Briscoe, and I forgot to. But one of the averages is 5.66, but that factors in 2 from first place. So twice out of the 3 times the pool sitter was optimal. But the averages here, now these are all starting positions, is 5.66, 9.33, 13.33, 19.66, 30.66, and 36.66. And 36 place was optimal twice.
Okay.
And Byron was the only guy to see the optimal 2 out of 3 times.
So 36th. Who is start? Cody Ware.
I kind of am gonna lump like guys like Hocevar and Gillen and guys like that, because that averaging doesn't take into account pricing, which is something that I think him and I are gonna mess around with and add that in there as well.
Yeah. So yeah, that's honestly that's been working for him though.
It has. Like, it's been pretty damn close. He started this back at like Vegas, and every race except for one, it has been almost spot on.
Yeah.
Some people will say that it's fucking pointless, there's no reason, but people will say that about literally everything you fucking do.
Yeah. Yep, I agree. I mean, it honestly, you guys have been posting at the Discord. I haven't read. I thought the same thing at first too. I was like, oh, it's one of them stupid.
I never even really thought of something like that. Really, like, I look at it and I always kind of make a mental note of it, but I never really thought to like break down the actual average of it. And he said it himself. He's like, I'm not saying this is going to mean anything, but let's start keeping track of this and see if it does. And so far, it has. So
yeah. So yeah, good for him for trying something new. It like I said, I have been keeping up with it, and it has been working.
It's been pretty damn close. So
yeah.
But anyways,
6K guys, Sterling. We got Daniel Suarez starting 25th. Noah Gragson starting 8th. Ricky Stenhouse, we joked on the preview show that he was going to go out and qualify 8th. Well, he qualified 11th, so he's still probably out of play. Eric Jones starting 27th. Austin Dillon starting 26th. Michael McDowell starting 15th. AJ Allmendinger starting 5th. And Connor Zilisch starting 33rd. That's a big group there. What do we think there, Sterling? What do we want to start with? Noah Gragson had a decent practice, I believe, but I still think it's too high for me.
And I want to say he was in Group A, so the track was a little better, but
Okay.
I can't trust him.
I
Not
can't
starting
either.
8th. I can't trust that team starting 8th. If he's top 15, I think he had a great day. And at that, you can't play him.
Nope. And Stenhouse Jr., oh man, starting 11th. I don't
The
think
starting spot sucks, but that just means like I haven't seen any ownership yet, but I would be very shocked if he's over 5%. And for that reason, if you're playing more than 20, I think you keep him in and take a few shots.
I don't blame you, and that's a good point. Like, I mean, he is going to be low owned. That's going to deter a lot of people. But if he goes out and finishes 7th, like he's done twice, I think that's money.
Yeah, and it scares me because his pit crew hasn't been good. He
Yeah.
himself loves to make mistakes on pit road, it seems.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
600 miles, 4 stages. We're going to see a lot of pit stops, and that could be the reason to not play him.
All right, so you have 60. Let's just put 6,900. You have 6,900 left. One more driver in this range. Who do we like in the 6K?
It's a really tough range, honestly.
It really is. I mean, I kind of like Eric Jones's practice times. Like, he was another car that looked decent, but I think that was in Group A also. But man, I don't know if I want to trust Dillon.
For me, I think that's who it is. If I'm 69K down to 6K, have to pick a guy in that range. I think for me, it would be AD, Jones, and motherfucking Stenhouse.
Ricky motherfucker Stenhouse Jr.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's
That
yeah, I
makes me
can't
think somebody get my dad.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I can't really disagree with you. Like I said, I mean when you think of fuel strategy races and stuff like that, you think of Richard Childress with their what do they even call that? Command center or whatever.
The War Room.
War Room. That's what it is. I always forget the name of that, but
I feel like Zillage stands a shot at being the highest guy owned in that range.
And that's gonna be crazy. I don't know.
Like this range, I think you can honestly probably get away with just completely wiping it out and avoiding it.
Yeah, I do too. I just don't think I can trust Zilic in his is this his second start in the Cup?
I can't remember. I want to say they keep saying his debut, but I think he did have another start.
Yeah, he raced COTA with SVG.
You're right. Yeah.
Yeah, he raced COTA. So this is the first mile and a half. It's gonna be 600 miles. I can't do Connor Zilic. Like I will have zero. If he beats me, he beats me. He is a prodigy and all this with road courses, but I think he's going to be better probably than SVG on ovals. But
I don't think that's the case today or tomorrow. Whenever.
Nope. I don't either. So for that, I'm out on Zilic. Yeah. Sorry, Zilic. Nothing personal.
As Ben would say, fucking pylon racer.
Pylon racer. Oh, that's good. All right, so we got the 5K range. We got Todd Gilliland starting 35th. Zane Smith, 23rd. John Hunter, 6th. Justin Haley, 13th. Jimmy, 17th. Cole Custer, 29th, SVG 30th, Ty Dillon 19th, and Riley Herbst 31st. Now this, outside of like Gillen probably being everybody's favorite click here, this is kind of a dirty range too.
Yeah, I was really disappointed to see Ty Dillon qualify 19th because this is a track that I think he can actually do well at.
Yeah.
I think he could finish around where he starts, but say he finishes 20th, that's like 21 points, and I don't know if that's enough.
No. Now, I think a decent pivot might be like a Zane Smith off of Todd Gilliland. I don't mind that because I think he can finish right around, right around there. But I think, like you said, I think at that point, I think you just go Ty Dillon. But I think if you have 5,800, I think you just hope Zane Smith can, go into the top 15, which, judging by his practice, doesn't look promising. But
I think
Zane's,
Zane Smith is probably the correct pivot for sure.
yeah, he's just been he's been rattling up some decent finishes. And like me and Sterling were talking pre-show. I don't know. I was like, maybe Justin Haley can sneak into a top 10, but Sterling shot that down. And I was like, yeah, you're probably right. Like, I'm probably pipe dreaming there.
I wouldn't put it out of reach. It's just, I don't know. We do know that he's essentially a Hendricks driver, so Hendrick. I don't want to throw that S in there and get shit on. So
yeah, old Hendricks. No, I'm just kidding. I'd probably say that. It's just easy to say.
it just rolls out like that.
It does. But I know people hate that, but it just rolls off the tongue. And then punts in the 4K range, we got Cody Ware, Josh Bilicki, Derek Krause. These guys will probably finish where they started. The only one I think could be any reliable is Cody Ware. I mean, we've seen him pass SVG before, which is crazy.
Yeah, that's we have had a punt in each race, except for last year. Their cheapest guy was 6,500 in the optimal, and we know that was only 249 laps, so didn't get all of those speedster points. So I do think you are probably going to need a guy down in this range, and it gets tough. Like Riley Herbst is obviously hands down in the best equipment of this range.
Yes.
Ty Dillon was going to be the guy, but I can't do it starting 19th. SVG. Scroll to the right there. How many laps did he run in practice?
1 second here. SVG. Oh, hang on. I gotta see what column he was.
33 laps.
I'm gonna highlight it. 33 laps. Oh, he actually wasn't terrible, was he? But he was he was in A.
He was in Group A. So I'm gonna pull up the other sheet here real quick and look at just Group A.
While you do that, I wonder how long Riley signed with 23XI.
I'm not sure, but
that'd be nice to get Corey Hyman there.
I feel like that
probably is the game plan.
Like there's been talks about that, and I feel like that just has to happen, really. Like, but SVG was like the 5th best car in Group A, so.
Oh, that might be the punt. If we trust it. Yeah.
It's tough to trust. I think it's going to be tough for everyone to trust, though. So I don't mind it.
Yeah.
But I'm definitely not playing Jimmie Johnson.
No. He did say this isn't his last race ever.
I was wondering that when I said it was his 700th start. So.
Yeah, he posted a video on Twitter or something the other day about, a montage of his career and everything, and that's what I I guess somebody asked him if this is his last Cup start, and he said, "Oh no, I just wanted to make that."
He needs to come back for 2 full seasons and finish his career at 777 starts.
No, that'd be pretty cool. That'd be pretty cool. 777. So, but let's look here. DraftKings doesn't have anything updated. I just wanted to check real quick. Kyle Larson is the favorite, plus 400. Byron's plus 600. Reddick and Blaney are plus 800. Bell's also plus 800. I tell you what, I'll just bring it up. We'll see if there's anything here we absolutely like. I think if I had to pick one, I think it'd be Byron. Is that scary to say?
Not necessarily. I still think Reddick might be my favorite.
Yeah, and I can't argue there. It's just hard to click Reddick lately, but I think I'm going to have to get over that. You got to put your personal opinions aside sometimes.
Yeah.
Well, not necessarily personal opinions. You just gotta, with each day is a new race. I just take last 2 weeks races into consideration when I click Tyler Reddick, and I'm like, how are you gonna burn me today?
Yeah, hopefully he doesn't, because he might end up being my highest own.
That is a hill to die on, Sterling.
I gotta roll with it. Gotta try.
Yeah, you do, and that's how you win. So, well, before we go, Sterling, anything else you want to shout out? Anything going on? Getting ready for tomorrow?
I mean, I guess if you guys got 2 TVs and you want to watch some sprint car racing, the Fast on Dirt Sprint Car Series will be on start to finish. That is at the Knox Raceway. It is reopening tomorrow. And I unfortunately am going to have to miss some of the 600 to be there.
Who are some of the big names that are going to race there tomorrow? Is it like Tim Schafer and?
Yeah, there's actually quite a bit of pretty big names for this region, and like you said, Tim Schafer, who is a multi-time World of Outlaw winner. He's a multi-time All-Star Circuit of Champions champion, and he is in the National Sprint Car Hall of Fame.
Oh wow, I did not know that. So, is AJ Fleck or anybody gonna be there? Or?
I would imagine, yeah. Gonna have like Ricky Peterson, AJ Fleck, Brandon Spithaler. The Indy race parts, which is Bernie Stugan, he's going to have a car there. I don't know who's going to be in it. I'm assuming PPM, Parker Price Miller. So, which, if you guys remember back to some truck dirt racing, he ran some of that. So.
Oh, okay. I figured we'd hear the glass shatter and Sterling would come out in his racing suit and,
Not yet.
Hopefully.
Yet. It's looking like late summer. I will at least drive in circles.
Sweet. Yeah, that'll be cool, man.
Yeah, I actually had a guy text me this morning that's supposed to dyno my motor and everything. So he's a little behind schedule, but I told him just whenever you can.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's more than a lot of people get to do, And you did get your pro iRacing license. That's exciting.
Whoa, not pro iRacing. It's got into on the exempt list for PGR.
Oh, that's like what it is. That's what it is.
Second tier in a sense.
Okay, not pro. My bad.
No, I will probably never be good enough on iRacing to get a pro license. I did get to damn near beat Malik Ray last night, though. That was cool.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. Been doing some iRacing. I definitely got to get into that. So
I would recommend doing it in like the winter because it will consume your time if you let it.
Yeah, that might be a winter project, but well, we won't bore these guys anymore. Like I said, thanks for listening. If you guys made it through, like I said, like, comment, subscribe, share, tell your friends. Definitely put in some lineups, talk about it in the Discord. Um, yeah, that's all I got, Sterling. Anything else?
Good luck. Let's win some money and no losing it on the last fucking lap.
Yeah, no doubt. So I'll